Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 7, Book 63, number 200. Narrated by Ikrimah. That Jamila. Then he related the whole Hadith, that is 199. Volume 7, Book 63, number 201. Narrated by Al-Miswar bin Makrama Az Zuhri. I heard the Prophet saying, Banu al-Mughira have asked my leave to let Ali marry their daughter, but I give no leave to this effect. Volume 7, Book 63, number 202. Narrated by Aisha. The wife of the Prophet, 3 traditions were established concerning situations in which Bara was involved. When she was manumitted, she was given the option to keep her husband or leave him. Allah's apostle said, The wallah is for the one who manumits. Once Allah's apostle entered the house while some meat was being cooked in a pot, but only bread and some soup of the house were placed before him. He said, Don't I see the pot containing meat? They said, Yes, but that meat was given to Barira in charity, by someone, and you do not eat what it given in charity. The Prophet said, That meat is alms for her, but for us it is a present. Volume 7, Book 63, number 203. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. I saw him as a slave, namely, Barira's husband. Volume 7, Book 63, number 204. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. That was Mughith, the slave of Bani So and Sir, that is, Barira's husband, as if I am now looking at him following her, Barira, along the streets of Medina. Volume 7, Book 63, number 205. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Barira's husband was a black slave called Mughith, the slave of Bani So and Sir, as if I am seeing him now, walking behind her along the streets of Medina. Volume 7, Book 63, number 206. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. Barira's husband was a slave called Mughith, as if I am seeing him now, going behind Barira and weeping with his tears flowing down his beard. The Prophet said to Abbas, O Abbas, are you not astonished at the love of Mughith for Barira and the hatred of Barira for Mughith? The Prophet then said to Barira, Why don't you return to him? She said, O Allah's apostle, do you order me to do so? He said, No, I only intercede for him. She said, I am not in need of him. Volume 7, Book 63, number 207. Narrated by Al-Aswad. Aisha intended to buy Barira, but her masters stipulated that her wallah wound be for them. Aisha mentioned that to the Prophet, who said to Aisha, Buy and manumit her, for the wallah is for the one who manumits. Once some meat was brought to the Prophet and was said, This meat was given in charity to Barira. The Prophet said, It an object of charity for Barira and present for us. Volume 7, Book 63, number 208. Narrated by Adam. Shu'bah relate the same hadith and added, Barira was given the option regarding her husband. Volume 7, Book 63, number 209. Narrated by Nafi. Whenever Ibn Umar was asked about marrying a Christian lady or a Jewess, he would say, Allah has made it unlawful for the believers to marry ladies who ascribe partners in worship to Allah, and I do not know of a greater thing, as regards to ascribing partners in worship, etc., to Allah, than that a lady should say that Jesus is her Lord although he is just one of Allah's slaves. Volume 7, Book 63, number 210. Narrated by Ibn Abbas. The pagans were of two kinds as regards their relationship to the Prophet and the believers. Some of them were those with whom the Prophet was at war and used to fight against, and they used to fight him. The others were those with whom the Prophet made a treaty, and neither did the Prophet fight them, nor did they fight him. If a lady from the first group of pagans emigrated towards the Muslims, her hand would not be asked in marriage unless she got the menses and then became clean. When she became clean, it would be lawful for her to get married, and if her husband emigrated too before she got married, then she would be returned to him. If any slave or female slave emigrated from him to the Muslims, then they would be considered free persons, not slaves, and they would have the same rights as given to other emigrants. The narrator then mentioned about the pagans involved with the Muslims in a treaty, the same as occurs in Mujahid's narration. If a male slave or a female slave emigrated from such pagans as had made a treaty with the Muslims, they would not be returned, but their prices would be paid to the pagans. Narrated Ibn Abbas, Kariba, the daughter of Abi Umayyah, was the wife of Umar bin al-Khattab. Umar divorced her and then Muawiyah bin Abi Sufyan married her. Similarly, al-Hakam, the daughter of Abi Sufyan, was the wife of Iyad bin Ghanem al-Fihri. He divorced her and then Abdullah bin Uthman al-Thaqafi married her. Volume 7, Book 63, number 211. Narrated by Aisha. The wife of the Prophet, when believing women came to the Prophet as emigrants, he used to test them in accordance with the order of Allah. O you who believe! When believing women come to you as emigrants, examine them. 60.10. So if any one of those believing women accepted the above-mentioned conditions, she accepted the conditions of faith. When they agreed on those conditions and confessed that with their tongues, Allah's apostle would say to them, Go, I have accepted your oath of allegiance for Islam. By Allah, and hand of Allah's apostle never touched the hand of any woman, but he only used to take their pledge of allegiance orally. By Allah, Allah's apostle did not take the pledge of allegiance of the women except in accordance with what Allah had ordered him. When he accepted their pledge of allegiance, he would say to them, I have accepted your oath of allegiance. Volume 7, Book 63, number 212. Narrated by Anas bin Malik. Allah's apostle took an oath that he would abstain from his wives, and at that time his leg had been sprained, dislocated. So he stayed in the mashruba, an attic room, of his for 29 days. Then he came down, and they, the people, said, O Allah's apostle, you took an oath to abstain from your wives for 1 month. He said, the month is of 29 days. Volume 7, Book 63, number 213. Narrated by Nafi. Ibn Umar used to say about the Elah, which Allah defined, in the Holy Book, if the period of Elah expires, then the husband has either to retain his wife in a handsome manner or to divorce her as Allah has ordered. Ibn Umar added, when the period of 4 months has expired, the husband should be put in prison so that he should divorce his wife, but the divorce does not occur unless the husband himself declares it. This has been mentioned by Uthman, Ali, Abu ad-Darda, Aisha and 12 other companions of the Prophet. Volume 7, Book 63, number 214. Narrated by Yazid. The Mawla of Mumbarith, the Prophet was asked regarding the case of a lost sheep. He said, "You should take it, because it is for you, or for your brother, or for the wolf." Then he was asked about a lost camel. He got angry and his face became red, and he said to the questioner, "You have nothing to do with it. It has its feet and its water container with it. It can go on drinking water and eating trees till its owner meets it." And then the Prophet was asked about a lukata, money found by somebody. He said, "Remember and recognize its tying material and its container, and make public announcement about it for 1 year. If somebody comes and identifies it, then give it to him. Otherwise add it to your property."